Yeah, here at T3 Live, and if it's Tuesday, it's the Wheels in Motion show, and we're going to take a look at what's going on around here because there's a lot going on, albeit grindy. So we want to be aware of that, all right? So if you get the SPY here, and you're going to see this, just a waka 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 waka. So it's been a while since we've gotten hit, to any certain extent. So what you're going to see here is you prefer, if you're going to get in on stuff, to have it go down and then come back. So you can see that down, two back up, down, two back up, down, inside, and up. And so here, just skirting the highs here. So we also have a gap here, and so it wouldn't surprise me to fill that, but it is what it is. I mean, you keep going, you keep going. What we are is a 3-2 range expansion month to the upside. Outside of this, right, broadening formation expansion. So we're going, still driving higher. However, it's really more about the story stocks. However, if you have positions that are winning, you can keep moving those stops up, keep moving those stops up, especially if they've already gotten the earnings out of the way, right? And so two things that come to mind right out the chute here is when we're watching the divergence of some of the sectors is IBB here, and you can see that's also an outside month to the upside, right, and grinding through here, still cooking an inside year. And so the way we know that is you can see this here, just these highs and this low, and all of this stuff is completely within here, right? So we keep jamming back and forth. Now the good part is that we can still take this out and still be an internal broadening formation in here. But for right now, this month having a good month in the IBB, and you can see this weekly still driving higher like so. And then you go to the daily, and you can see grind, 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 but going. Then you go the other way, and you look at like at XOP. Like, oh boy, pig, right? Weekly, still pigging and trying to go back into the low. So you can see those bright divergences right there. So we'll just go into a few here. I mean, we got more than a few, but if we go to some of the weekly stuff, you're going to see SQ. And SQ has been stuck in here for a while, and if you go to the start at the monthly, you'll see here. So here's an outside month. That's good because that means it's a broadening formation we can get back through. Last month poked up a little bit and couldn't really get her going, but now one of the things we look for to get it going is an outside bar, inside bar. What that means is 2 weeks ago they were willing to sell down and pay up. Then they met back in the middle, and right now they're going after real move here. Inside week to the upside, looking to at least take out 66.60, and we got 10 cents in there, so it's not that much on it. But what that does do is that reconfirms the month back to the upside into the old 3, which is a good thing. We've got PayPal. And PayPal, still handily inside month, doji month, that's an issue. But the way things are grinding now, you've got your inside week to the upside. So you can see this outside bar here. And so the danger here would be that you got outside of that, then you came back in, 322. Now you're inside. And so either way on this is going to be interesting because we can either stay above here for the week at 104.48 and look for reconfirmation there, or if we can get a rev strat next week and then come puking down here and try and take that out. No evidence of that as yet, but that's always, you always want to have if this then that statements. When people are out there making I called it and all this kind of crap, look, everything has to be an if this then that and reconfirm or negate, right? And so when people make longer term calls and they like to do that, you want to be aware of that there's so many variables that they couldn't possibly know that they're just talking out their rear end. Anyway, KRTX ripper. Nice inside week and up you got there, but when you get to this level of volatility, it's not for everybody, and you can just stay on 30s and 60s. And the great thing about volatility is that you can take profits because you get them so fast, right? And then you're more willing to go back the other way. So what I mean by that is, let's say that you have an inside 30 here at 128.71, right? This thing went from 128 up to 140 in a half an hour. Now, if you can't lock in some profits there, you got problems. So if you do that, then you're more likely to take this inside 30 back down because you're already playing with their money below 128 and goes out 124. There's another $4, stuff like that. So just a little ways to play that. You've got Visa here coming inside weak here, and once again the outside inside real move. It's completed its objective by taking out 182.40, right? It's done that. So the question is, can we come up on this baby here and keep going, right? Because on the monthly you've got it this here, two up, two down, boom, back up over 80.18. So you always want to make sure that you're using all these multiple time frames. And then what does Visa tell you? It tells you I'm also going to look at MA, doesn't it? It does. Two up, two down, two back up over 280.44. So that's still working. And what do you know? It's an inside week after an outside week. 3, 1, 2 Chicago. Now you're going to see if we can climb up on that. If we go to Lily. Oh, Lily. So Lily inside week and up slightly here. And so the good part about that, once again, is we have discernible levels to stay above and to look for signals above that. So here on the monthly, and I know it's late in the month, it's really not doing too much, but anything over 114.66 is the 2, back into the 3, outside, right? So we can look for further signals there. If you go to the daily, you're going to see this. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Kind of looks like that now, don't it? There's your broadening formation. If you go to Procter & Gamble, and one of the things that's always important that when I'm talking or talking to people or when you are hearing certain symbols, what does that bring up for you as far as more clarity on what's actually going on? So Procter & Gamble does this, right? Goes inside week to the upside, still handily in here, right? So slightly goes up in here. But what that tells me is that I want to pay attention to the Dow Jones and I want to pay attention to the XLP and all that kind of stuff to give me a handle on what's going on. Then if I look at my monthly, I'll realize it's still an inside month. So we can expect reversals back and forth. So we'd be aware of that. So if this thing was going to reverse back down, it would become here, 2-2 back down. We start to get hit here and start coming back through. Otherwise, as long as we 2 up, it's good. If we go to AVGO pops up and then comes back into here, stuck inside this 60. But what it does do, it's also on our yearly charts, it was an inside hammer to the upside, so we've known that all year, and we finally got the 222. Now it stalls out. Now here, where's the exhaustion risk? 320, right? And we took that out, right? So what that means is anybody short against any of this stuff, they're gone, right? So the buyers need to step back up. You're slightly inside weak to the upside, but now you come back down like this, so you just want to be aware of that. If we can hold, maybe go inside day, that would get my attention. LVGO, newer issue, but in the monthly, this gets my attention. Here we go, 2-2 reversal here above 22.95. Give me 28.44, and then it's reconfirmed by the inside week here. Once again, the outside inside week up, real move above 26.99, and your magnitude would be to take this out 27.73, which you have done, right? And so but the monthly still valid, so we can continue to watch for more signals as the month goes on. AYX, there's your inside week to the upside, all right? And so this still inside month, all right, like so. So we can be aware of that. And then on the daily, here, you're just triangling this stuff out. So now you got to march up through this stuff here. So anytime you're going 2 straight into the highs, we prefer to have reversals like here. The 2 reversal down, the inside bar, 2, 1, 2, and then boom, back into the direction that we desire to take out the week. If we go to W day, you can see kind of stuck in here, right? So obviously this thing going inside month, almost for sure, right? And usually it trades with now, but now goes into the S&P and gives us this, the 3-2 upper, and this is a broadening formation we've been watching for a while. Thank you, S&P. Boom, right there, broadening formation right there. So W day, we're at least at this point, if it's going to go, the inside week here is above 166.73, so it's barely above it. So we'll see if they want to pick that up just a tad. If we go to American Tower, here does this. See, inside week to the upside, above 213.43. Now, to really get her going, we'd like to kick back into full time frame continuity by taking out the monthly opening. That would be 219.15. That would give you a big broadening formation like so. So once again, when I talk about anything, there's things that should enter your mind. When I say American Tower, what are you thinking? You're also thinking SBAC, right? SBAC outside day, and here's your broadening formation there. Also, the same thing on the weekly. It's an inside week to the upside. Here, above 237.48, all right? And this thing's going to take the monthly. Green. Open is 240.65. You're almost there. So you can watch that. You can also see that this is an outside month to get back into, which it gives you that. CCI, also a tower. And you can see this having a little bit rougher of a time. And so if we start to drop back in, we know this thing's having a rougher time trying to rev strat the week. Or it's going to reconfirm and come up. If we go to IFF, as I like to call it, Flavor Flav, IFF, flavors and fragrances. Inside week to the upside here. So potential 2, 1, 2, get the measured move and kind of come up on this. And this had our attention because of the inside month to the upside. Now, you can see these slight higher highs here, like so, if we can get the greater broadening formation going. The issue here, remember, we're always analyzing data, not reading charts. The issue here is these 3 months are still within inside here. So could we reverse? Sure could. So we could be aware of, are we going to stay up, or are we going to have a rev strat week come the end of this to end the month? Right now, so far so good. We also knew about this on the daily. Remember, when we analyze data, we were looking at it here to see it's still inside this bar. Drift, 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 rev strat down, bump, bump, bump. Then it gaps down here, and as soon as it started coming back in here, definitely we're looking for that to go an outside day, all right? Because that full time frame counted the upside, and it was going to come up and challenge the inside week, which it indeed did. Then, coming in this morning, 2, 2, 2, boom. And there's your compound 3 of that. These 2 are an outside bar of that, right? And we already had the week and up and the month and upper in that. If we go to Coop, inside day for the Coop, and what do we know about the Coop? 3331 monther, right? Outside, 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 outside. How does this resolve? So far, it's trying to resolve back to the upside. Because anybody long in here is gone. These guys have been killed, right? So there's people who will never touch this stock again, I promise you. Now's the time. Inside week and up, and you got an inside day here, so long as that continues. Akamai. Doing this. Akamai, and you always want to be forward thinking as well, as we're coming closer to the end of the month. We're not right there, but we get a holiday and all that kind of stuff. But what's the next 2? How is the monthly setting up? Should it continue? Right now, monthly is either going to go 3 or set up closer for a 2-2 on the Akamai. But for right now, you have inside week to the upside, so long as you're above 87.92. If we go to TTD, that's a 2-2 continuation on the weekly. And if you go to the monthly, what on earth is this stuff? Get this garbage off my charts. I don't know how this got there. Anyway, it's inside month to the upside over 216.65, and that's still good. If we go to these things make me sick. Hold on, let's get it. ILMN. All right. So ILMN in the bio, still an inside month here, and you can see this broadening formation on the monthly. However, on the weekly, going inside week to the upside, still stuck in this outside bar. So we're trying to get out of here. We want to stay above this 311.13. That's what I want to know about, because that's going to give me the shot to get up through here, right? And daily broadening formation looking like so per the weekend video. Like so. Get. AVB REIT. And so AVB does this. Inside week to the upside. So if we can watch the V&Q and the IYR, if they start going, oops, you got this. Like so. In the bio, AXSM. And if you've been watching, we talked about this one a few times, and this is a great example of the 322 monthly outside bar. Willing to pay up, willing to pay down, sell down. Crush the thing, come back and do an old outside bar. 322, boom, right there, over 24.12, trading 30.43. The higher here is 30.50. The high here, 30.55. It has indeed met its objective. And if you look at the daily, you're going to see something like this. Did we know about it? If you've been watching me for a while, you sure did. Thanks for playing, and there you go. We'll see if that continues. QLYS. Inside week to the upside, so you can see them triangle them out down in here, and you're coming back to a previous range up through this stuff. So we'll see if that can continue. That's directional because you're going into these highs, but you can see this range in here if we want to take everybody out. Here's your pivot machine gun right here, and here's your consolidation. Why is that a pivot machine gun? And when it came through here, anybody short against this, they're gone. Boom, in one shot. So at that point, not strong enough to take this out just yet. Then it goes inside week to consolidate. Now we're trying to go measured mover and then finish them off. If we go to Facebook, Facebook is RevStrat week. You've got the inside week, then poke down, and then boom, it's met its objective. It's taking this stuff out, all right? And so it is 2 on the month. Here it's taking this out, 3-2 to the upside. That's good. So we're going to see if it's strong enough to do this. It's just got to keep continuing. If we go to UTHR in the bio, and still inside month, and so potential 3-1, which will be interesting. For the weekly, you have your RevStrat week, inside, down here. Now, it met its primary objective of taking these two out. The question is, can we get out of here? So we want to be very aware of that. We want no reversals on the daily on that. Right now, good chance of inside day, but you can see tight range in here. A lot of people say it's coiling or whatever they want to make up in their minds. When things get really tight, more often than not, you take out both sides. Why? Because you got tight stops on both sides. Oh, I'm right. I'm going to stay short. All right, that's bam. Right, so you've taken them out. So we'll see if that RevStrat kicks back up. VRTX. And VRTX here, and this is just screaming, right? This exhaustion risk is just going straight into the highs so far, not stopping. And sometimes they go a little bit further than you thought, don't they? They do. Just look at some of your biggest losers. If we go to IDXX, and IDXX is red on the month here, and 2-2 down, takes all these guys out. You can see this, takes them out. Not weak enough to take that out. The question is that going to continue or not? And so if it's going to do that, you wouldn't have a reversal against you, which you do have back through like so. So at this point, what that does, here's your broadening formation. How do we know it's a broadening formation? Because it doesn't have, it's not geometry. It's all we're doing is identifying outside bars, right? So here to here is an outside bar of all this. You see that? So now, so long as this 2-2 reversal weekly stands over 262.07 and doesn't have a reversal against us, we're going all the way back up here, right? So there's a lot of ifs and thens all the way up, but at this point you've got your 2-2 reversal IDXX. You also have that in silver, USLV, here at this point. Right here, USLV over 82, at least right now, and we know this thing can move out. We're not seeing too much there, and when you get better at drawing and understanding broadening formations, you're going to see something like this. Right like that. How do I know that? Because this, and this are outside of all that, right? Okay. So if we go to AMD, AMD, a good example of monitoring stocks within sectors to see the strength and weakness within it. So if you go to SMH, you're going to see something like this, right? SMH, inside week doing nothing. You can see AMD pouring it on, right? And one of the good things about AMD would be like, it's new 52-week highs. It's also an outside month to the upside, the 3-2. But if you go all the way back, you're going to see this. Oh, the places you'll go. Triangle day out. And now, when this takes out that from here to here, would be an outside bar of all this. See that? Okay. We'll see how that goes. If we go to letter H, one of the things we look for is the longer term stuff so we can continue to reconfirm. That's a RevStrat month. Inside bar, countered hammer, boom, 1, 2, 2. Do we know about that? We did. It's in the weekend video every week. Above 75.64, right? So one of the things you want to look for is the 2-2-2 continuation. 2 up, stop them up by 2 cents two down, and then boom, back in the direction. Gives you right there in the monthly, and if you broke it down to the daily, you can even set it up like this. There you go. Here's your 2-2. Yep, to the tick. 2-2 reversal on the daily, and off she goes. That's all you got to wait for. Go to Jazz Farm. And Jazz Farm on the daily comes in for a shooter. Just in the monthly still does the rev strat, the 1, 2, 2. Still has some magnitude in here. It just had a nice run off of this stuff, so we'll see if when it sets up again. If you go to Molina Health, because we know the healthcare has been strong. For the day, not doing much. And for the week, still moving. And we have the 2-1-2 inside month back to the upside here above 27.02 because we know stuff like Humana has been real strong off the 3-2s, and what we now have for the dailies to continue to reconfirm tomorrow, you got Johnny John, you've got UNH inside, you've got Cigna inside, you've got Centene inside, so you can take a look at all that kind of stuff, that fun there. If we go to Motorola MSI, and Motorola, here's your daily, and this thing's been pounding around here, and it's actually been a little bit wilder if you take this out, like so. Like there, and you can see those bigger tries like that. However, per the weekend video, it does this. Inside week to the upside, right here. Right, and what that can do is that can put it back into full time frame continuity by changing the monthly back to the green, you see? Here, and see if they want to come back up on all this stuff, and that opening is going to be at 167.04. If we go to HRTX, I'm sorry, TX. You're going to see this in the bio, and this is what you want to look for: the 2 up, the 2 down, boom, right there, back into full time frame continuity, right above 2167. It also does it on the monthly. See this? 2, 2, boom, above 2148. All right, so that's how you can catch on to it. You know, some people posting on Twitter about entries and stuff like that. You just got to know this stuff, and that's it. If you go to PAYC, 2-2 monthly reversal over 223. Have I talked about that? Yeah, we're 239.49. Thank you very much, and still going. On the downside, like I said, the energy pukers, and you got, whew, boy, it's ugly. So it's PXD already coming back in on the monthly, but for the weekly, inside week to the downside, just can't get these things going. You've got EOG here trying to go inside week to the downside. You've got Concho here, and they're not killing them per se, especially the Concho here. But if you go to the refiners, which have been the outperformers, finally coming in a tad. MPC looking to go inside month, but now back to the red side, and you see this coming here, the inside, the 2 down, and now trying to take out this outsider here below 61.38, almost there. And if you go to HFC, the problem here, it would be if you can do this, if they get weaker, you can take out and go 2-2 month back down below 51.09. To start the week, Ranger, still slightly green on the month, but you could easily take that with the week doing this. 2 up, 2 back down. Now you've magnituded this and this. Question going to be weak enough for that. So we'll just reconfirm on the dailies in the 60s. If you go to Whirlpool, all sorts of problems here after the inside week and down. Coming down, what that has here on the monthly, there's your 2-2 reversal here below 149.16, trading 141. Still puking, just some exhaustion risk as you keep going into lower lows. Where you prefer to have something like this to enter. 2 down, 2 up, boom. That gives you a magnitude of at least here. Then you can add on the inside day here. You see that? Reversal, continuation, boom, and then let her puke. If you go to the trannies, we got UPS having some issues here. Not the end of the world. Still green on the month here, but you do go inside weak to the downside, and that gets our attention here if we get any type of weakness with Qualcomm. You can see the difference between Qualcomm and AMD. AMD go powering in the highs. Qualcomm, not the end of the world either. It's bright green on the month, so no real threat there, but it is inside weak and down, so if we get any weakness over there, we can check that out. If we go to Chevron, Chevron also weekly shooter down, having some issues there, and getting closer to full time frame continuity, back to the downside, albeit in a chop shop in general. If you go to WB, And WB is already an outside month, so that's another thing you want to look for is, since we know outside bars exist, once you go take out one side and come back through and the continuity changes on the month, the full time frame continuity and downside, yeah, we're taking that out, just so you know. However, did it on a gap, but then did some continuation, we'll see. PLCE here, and PLC here, you can see this. The outside day, then poke up, there's your 322. So when this opened in here, we're taking that out, just so you know, because you have full time frame continuity to the downside. We have every reason to believe that's going to do that. Question here is going to be weak enough to take this stuff out. We'll see about any continuations. Celgene, when you look at the IBB being strong, another thing you want to look for is anybody taking out last week's lows in that group, and this Celgene's one of them. And Celgene, in general, not doing much on the month, but it's for the week right now, that has my attention below here, 108.79. Go to Bristol Myers, and Bristol Myers goes RevStrat week to the downside here, inside, then up, then back through, below 57.45. So it's taken that out. Still got some room to take this out and see if it gets any worse for Bristol Myers. If we go to Western Digital having some issues here too. That's continuation of the downside on the monthly after this 2-2 reversal. Boom, still going. Weekly, 2, still confirming this move. Daily, just puking. So you got a little exhaustion risk anytime you just keep going to the highs, and that's why you look for this kind of stuff to enter. The 2 up, the bam. The 2 up, the bam. All right, that's exactly how you want to do it. So this also tells you to keep an eye on the inside day in STX tomorrow. Oftentimes they trade similarly. Right now they're not, so we'll see if anything comes of that. More retail, if you go to Williams-Sonoma here, 3-2 day down to the downside. And what that does, like I was saying, you want to always look for outside bars. Right now, this thing's looking like a 3 on the weaker here if it doesn't fight back real quick, right? And that would be below 68.89, so a little bit more on that. If you go to Spotify, Spotted Die, 2-2 reversal. Now the continuation here, and the problem here, once again, is you're red on the month. Now that gives you full time frame continuity to the downside, and you had a gap and go here, still 2 and down, so we'll see if there's any ways into that. Wingstop, more retail, and that is right now on 3-2 day down here. Bright red on the month, on the week, inside week to the downside continuation. 1, 2, 1, 2, boom. Pays, P-A-Y-S. P-A-Y-S, not the end of the world, but it is 3-2 down on the week, and you have taken the objective of this stuff. But it also, what it caused was this 1-bar RevStrat monthly. So whenever you come back to a previous range, boom, there you go. So that's completed. We'll see if it's going to be weak enough to come out through here. But we got a lot of earnings, and so a lot of the stuff you want to stay on that the earnings, and there's just it's not that hard. When you look at MYOV, I tweet this out the morning and then we run it all day. MYOV in the 60. It takes 2 hours to set up here. Inside 60 to the downside. This thing created from 1443 and closed out the hour at 1094. On a percentage basis, that's pretty big. Then what did it do? Inside 60 and right back up. Get back long, reverse and get long over 1245, and it's not that hard. So earnings season, we're going to be trading the movers, but even if we stall out, if we get the market to come in and some of this stuff reverses, one of the important things about watching what I'm telling you is I'm showing you exactly what to look for no matter what you are looking at, because all price action is uniform. It can't change, never will change. It's always going to be 1, 2, 3 in time frame continuity. All right, that's going to do it for this week. I'm Rob Smith in the Black Quant VTF here at TG Live with the Wheels in Motion show.